So what is on demand? And it's important for us to understand exactly not what is it and how we use it. Yeah. So on demand is exactly as the word actually describes it. Means I leverage on skills that are out there and I bring them into my business as and when I need them. So it's new ways of filling a critical skills gap while staying lean. So I'm going to give you a simple example that two members of this team actually is experienced together. So Nick is into marketing. Yes, Nick, hi. And I needed some work to be done, and I agreed with him, and then he actually helped me out. So in this current scenario, I am not a marketing expert, I'm a business owner, and I leverage on Nick's expertise in order to help me out. Okay, so I plugged in that gap of skills that I have within my team while I stayed lean. So we call this the phenomenon as the agile talent. And it's basically, in simple terms, using outside expertise, whatever that outside expertise is. So, and sourcing talent from the cloud. The reason why I say from the cloud is you're going to see that later, that it's not as difficult to find this talent. And let's keep that in mind. So how does it really work? Agile talent as the exception. So when we've been working as within a structured environment, and as business owners, a lot of times we think about, okay, so what is really my budget? I need to hire people within my team, and this is what stresses us out, because it causes us stress, because I need the budget to hire the person. That person is going to be my responsibility. I need to make sure that their time is filled 100% of the time, right? And I start thinking, if I have work for them today and I'm earning today as a small business owner, what if tomorrow I don't have work for them? And what if tomorrow I can't fill up their time, or I cannot actually pay them? So this is where the stress comes in. And then we start thinking, okay, if I am a small team, then let me use agile talent as an exception, which means every once in a while, if I need something to be done, I need to market something, then I will reach out for an agile talent who has the depth of expertise in marketing. If I need a job description drafted, then I reach out to somebody who has the depth of expertise to help me out to draft that job description, etc., etc. So the examples are very numerous. So I can adopt this particular way of working, which is I do that once in a while. The other one, which is staff augmentation and more strategic augmentation. So as a business owner, you say, I know that I'm going to be needing those particular skills, and I need to ensure that I find those skills wherever they are in the cloud. And I need to, and then this for me becomes my bigger team. So as let's say if you are an entrepreneur and you are a tech entrepreneur, you need somebody to help you out on your user experience on your tech platform. You need somebody to help you with the development and further improvement and optimization of your tech platform. You need somebody to do your accounts. You need somebody to do your marketing. And then when you what you do is you line up people that are in those areas of expertise. And then for you, this is your bigger team. That's your team that is out there in the cloud that you can reach out to as and when you need it. The last one, which could be a transformational approach that you can use. And this is where that will be your new way of working. So completely new way of working, which means that you have a team of 2, 3, or 5 or 10 people, and this is your core team. And you decide that this is my core team as a business, and I'm not going to increase that. And for me, I'm going to leverage on-demand talent in each and every area. And that becomes your new way of working. That's your workforce. This is your approach. And when somebody asks you how big is your team, you can't actually answer them. This is when you say, I'm proudly say that I'm a core team of 5 only. Remember in the older days when somebody asked you if you're working alone or how many people you have in your team, some of us used to feel shy. We're only 2. We're only 5. Actually, today, if you say we are 5, but we have a workforce of 50 that is up in the cloud, and this is our augmented team, then you are the smart one today, because this is the new way of working. So my question to you now
Sorry, Emma,
is,
before you
yes,
go there. Yeah.
yeah,
So there's a question from Gwen, sorry, to
yes,
jump in. From Gwen, sorry, Gwen Foster. What about labor laws? I just want us to take a step back. So the first issue that comes to mind with staff on demand
yes,
when somebody asks about labor laws is the issue of mindset. The entrepreneurial mindset is kind of contrary to worrying about the legalities, and that might not sound practical, but I can assure you now, I mean, if I think of when I also asked Nick to do a little bit of work, he's got a little app, I can't remember what it's called, where you basically upload the requirement and he responds with a price. And that's a contract, and you agree to get that work done. So you can operate as an independent contractor. And the issue with labor laws is things like, if you give the person a laptop and a desk and they sit at your office every day and they have to come to work for regular hours, then they automatically become an employee. But
yeah,
if you actually have the right mindset and the right way of working in place with them, it can become very clear that they're an independent contractor. And they might not even want a contract. They might just they can either be an independent contractor, or they could just contract on a gig by gig case. So that's and yeah, we've all seen the CCMA. I mean, the regulatory environment clearly needs to change, but
yes,
yeah, I'm using staff on demand quite extensively and quite successfully.
yeah.
So I
Thanks,
think
Cool.
Craig. Yeah, you go ahead, Melissa.
So I think just to almost tie it all together, it is the way that the world is changing. I hear Emma talking about different methodologies that people can use. And I think what Craig is also saying is that it almost works with work packages. So if
Yeah,
you can identify in your business what particular item you need for this particular time, and that's what you contract out,
yeah,
then it's sort of, I wouldn't use the word negates, but it almost has proof that that's the only thing that you needed for that particular point in time.
mm,
And I would also argue, if you look at technology, and this is an argument that I've had with myself also, working in corporate for a long time, because if you look at technology and the exponential advancement of technology, I mean, we still can remember the 3310. So the Nokia 3310, I think it had polyphonic ringtones, right? But if you think about it in today's world, people are doing are coding. Did that exist before? And so skill sets almost, move so exponentially that you can tailor your work package for that particular skill set. And I think that will then tie in what Emma is talking about in terms of
yes,
using leveraging of it, and then also to Craig's examples where he uses it in his own business. You're actually using new skill sets that's required as you go along.
I think it's very valuable conversation, and Wern's points as well. There are definitely local legislations and regulations that we all need to consider all the time. And I think when Emma goes through the presentation, there's some critical element we need to consider when we look at the type of people we need to consider. So yeah, thank you. Please bring all those questions. We are learning from each other here, and we've got expertise around this table. Please don't stop. Thank you, Emma.
Thanks, Liesl. So yes, there are ways around it, and there are ways around it not only from a compliance perspective, or am I putting myself at risk of being labeled as have hired that person full-time, but there's also ways around the risk and mitigating the risk of engaging with somebody independently and on demand, and making sure that you actually get the results that you are looking for as a business, because you don't want to waste your time, right? So we will talk about this in few. Melissa, just alert me on any questions, because I can't see the chat as yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna carry on now. Now here, this is where I would like to ask everybody. So which model would you actually adopt today if there is no labor regulations and nothing? And will you use it as an exception, the on-demand approach? Will you use it as an exception? Will you use it as and when needed to augment your team? Or will you actually use it as your strategy? Like moving forward, you decide, me as a business, it's going to be me, it's going to be my finance partner, it's going to be my strategy partner, it's going to be whoever those 4 or 5 people, 10 people core team. And I'm going to use a total workforce strategy whereby I have a pipeline of independent contractors and on-demand skilled workers that I can reach out to as and when needed. Which one would you use? Would you just share with us in the chat?
So just type it into the chat box.
So just put, I actually numbered them 111. That's not smart of me. So you can just type 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, we get total workforce.
Cool.
Strategic augmentation. Strategic augmentation. Okay, myself, I would also choose strategic augmentation.
Yeah, that's safe when you are still absorbing, you know, just trying to understand exactly as what it actually means to me as a business. Yeah, so just keep that in mind as we progress through our discussion. So strategic augmentation is basically when you use a network talent system. And the network talent system is when you have your own team, but you also have a network of talents that is anywhere around the world. And this is where we are going to go back to labor law. When you think labor law, you are thinking South Africa. But imagine that, you know, when you think of on demand, the world is your oyster. So you have access to a global talent pool. And people have been using this for ages, right? So companies that are in the US, in Australia, and Canada, and in Europe have been using developers in India and in South Africa, technical developers, you know, like for tech platforms. They've been using these guys to develop tech solutions for them. This is literally an on-demand talent that they have reached out to. So this has been in practice for a long time in the technology industry. And the reason being, it was driven by lack of skills, actually, and cost. So lack of technical skills, but also the cost, because of the Indian rupee and the South African rand. It made sense for a company that is based in Australia or in the US, etc., to use on-demand talent when it comes to the tech space. And this is when we talk about having a networked talent system. So, Any examples that will help me actually to understand this? I'm as a business owner, like, will this jeopardize my business? Does this mean that I am not unique and I'll ask anybody to do anything for me? How can I manage the quality? And these are all normal questions that we ask because we want to make sure that we're getting the right quality. Now think about it. Apple actually uses on-demand talent in their design. I mean, I'm sure Apple can afford to hire designers, but they don't do it because why would they? So the question here, the reverse question is exactly as what Craig said. It's all about the mindset. Why would I hire that person 100% of the time when I need a specialized design skill and I can find the right specialist skill at the right price for that moment in time? So Apple, funny enough, they use on-demand talent in design. Rolls-Royce Aerospace, they use on-demand talent in engineering. And Workday, they use on-demand talent in system implementation. So guys, you're not the only ones, yeah? Big names and big companies are leveraging on this. They've been using this for years. And nobody can actually argue that Apple is making a lot of money and they are profitable, or Workday is profitable. But also, the thing that we all know about Workday is they are quick at releasing new features. They are quick at responding to the company's needs. When you are doing a Workday system implementation, they will tie you up with the closest people to you in order to help you out, but they are leveraging on these talents on demand.